Alright guys, here we are in our first part of direct instruction. We're going to read this. We're going to add annotations in the form of highlighting and comments off to the side. We are going to focus our attention on trade and economics, like how the country makes money within the Kingdom of Ghana. So I've highlighted here what we're looking for. Within our article, the Trans-Saharan Trade, we're looking for how does this Trans-Saharan, so across the Sahara Desert, trade system contribute to the economic growth and power of Ghana. All right, so the Trans-Saharan trade was the main method of contact between North Africa and West Africa. I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to make a note. Spread of ideas and goods. That's going to show economic power and growth, because if we are getting more ideas, we are able to spread our horizons. It was more than a regional trade. It was an international trade that led to the exchange of goods between various parts of Africa, the Middle East, and Europe. I'm going to highlight that as well. The trade across the Sahara was an ancient one, dating as far back as 600 BCE. So that's 600 years before zero. It was transformed in the late 1st century CE, we're going to get rid of those antiquated terms, with the use of the camel. Compared with donkeys and horses that had previously been used as pack animals, camels could carry heavier loads, endure greater hardships, including the desert heat, and travel for longer periods without water. The camel was the truck of the desert, which facilitated travel on many trade routes. West Africa supplied gold and ivory, brought by the Berbers, who crossed the desert and sold the products to North African merchants. Those products found their way to many courts and homes of the wealthy cities on the Mediterranean coast. So I'm going to add on here, camels became the truck of the desert, facilitating, we'll go down to there. I'm going to put a note. Camels equal more trade, which equals more money. More trade, more money. West African gold, slave, and copper. West African gold, slaves, and copper were traded in exchange for salts from the Sahara, and North African products such as salt, metal, beads, and cloth. The West African products were in turn sent to Southwest Asia and Europe. All the regions involved benefited from it. North Africa and Southern Europe needed West African gold for luxury items and later coins. West Africans needed salt, which the traders in the Sahara and beyond could supply in the desert sources in Tagaza and Bilma. So I'm going to highlight this. We see both sides benefiting. When I highlight it, that's going to be my note. All sides benefit from trade, Europe, Africa. However, many goods were involved in both sides. West Africa received copper, books after the introduction of Islam, metalware, pots, pans, swords, dates. It's like the sweet treat dates, spices, and silk in exchange for their kola nuts, ivory, and slaves. To cross the desert was risky. One needed large supplies of food, sometimes enough for 4 months, and had to deal with the scarcity of water and insect bites. Scarcity means really hard to find. So water was really hard to find, and there are lots of bugs in the desert. Small parties could become lost, as reported by Ibn Battuta, the Arab traveler who crossed the Sahara in 1352. He said, quote, we used to go ahead of the caravan, and when we found a place suitable for pasturage, grazing of animals, we could graze our beasts. We went on doing this until one of our party was lost in the desert. After that, I neither went ahead nor lagged behind. We passed a caravan on the way, and they told us that some of their party had become separated from them. We found one of them dead under a shrub, of the sort that grows in the sand, with his clothes on and a whip in his hand. The trade was important to the economy and society of the three kingdoms, Ghana, Mali, and Songhai. It made various imported goods available, some essentials such as salt and some luxury items such as cloth. The trade routes that also brought Islam and many other items from the outside and spread knowledge of West Africa to other parts of the world. So I'm going to put here two things to highlight. So one of them is like trade helped the economy, and the other one is brought. So I'm going to put goods that influenced, goods from trade. That comment, and I'm going to brew Islam. Religion and culture. From trade. With that is going to come a lot of other things, written language, texts, educational practices, etc. The trade contributed to emergence of cities and kingdoms through revenues or profits, markets, and trade routes. All right, so we see more cities springing up. I like that as well. There's a lot of information in this last one. More cities. I'm going to make a comment here. More cities. More power. More cities equal more power. That makes sense. Starting a small trading settlement on outposts, which grew as more traders visited them. Other occupations grew to supply products needed by those who lived in cities or were simply passing through. Governments and laws became sophisticated in order to maintain order, regulate laws regarding prices, taxes, and money, and protect visiting traders. So we've got jobs grew. Government and laws became more sophisticated in order to maintain order. For the trade, from the trade, those in power used profits raising from trading their finances, from trading to financing their armies, and the reach of their power. As political leaders extended their power, over neighboring areas, the cities grew, ultimately becoming centers of larger kingdoms. The Kingdom of Ghana was the first successful story. All right, so lots of information highlighted there. And now you're going to answer this question using your annotations, what we just learned. How did the Trans-Saharan trade route contribute to the economic growth and power of Ghana? All right, so you're going to answer that here. And then come back for the next set of documents.